With your help, this dream world can grow back into something magical. This is Dreamlight Valley.
Welcome back to Retro Rebound. In today's video, we are going back to Dreamlight Valley, ladies and gentlemen. Disney Dreamlight Valley. Why are we playing this game? Moana 2, baby. It's Moana season. We got to get some Disney going here. And I've been very curious about this game for a long while. It arrived on Xbox Game Pass day one. I played for like an hour or two and thought, hey, this is actually kind of cool, and then dropped it. However, I have a friend who put over 200 hours into it. I have a friend's girlfriend who ended up getting into gaming through this game, and in turn, he's like, yo, this is actually the real deal. And I thought, you know what? This would be a fun one to try out for the first time. So is Disney Dreamlight Valley the Animal Crossing game I've always sought out? That's what I aim to answer here today, because for those who don't know anything about your boy, Maddie, I did not grow up on a lot of popular Nintendo IP. So I missed the whole Animal Crossing craze, and it wasn't really until the newest one came out during the pandemic that I was like, all right, I'll check you out, because I got literally nothing else to do. And I tried it, played like 20 hours of it, and moved on pretty quickly. So I mean, no disrespect to my boy Tom Nook or any of the other crazy characters in that universe, but frankly, I was really wondering, okay, there's a little nostalgia here for Animal Crossing. I'm wondering if the nostalgia of Disney characters with the Animal Crossing mechanics works for me more. So I want to talk about my first time playthrough of this game, because it's been a journey. It's been a journey for sure. With that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here and you're into nostalgic or retrospective content, you are in the right place. Consider subscribing. Happy to have you here. Where do I begin? This game kind of cooks. I don't know. I was very surprised by it. I was like, the more I put time into it, I blinked and I played 6 hours straight. I went, what? Wait, you kidding me? I'm almost 30 years old. What is going on here? I put a lot of time into this game though. It is addicting in the funniest way. For starters, I gotta call out some of the surprising elements, which is not the stuff that I think you think I'd be talking about in Disney Dreamlight Valley. There's stuff like the writing, which is kind of hilarious, because you'd think in a game like this, they're gonna encourage you, be nice to everybody. But some of the dialogue, you'll just cook people up. And I love that. Like, there's a point where Mickey is teaching you how to cook. And so I cooked his ass up when he was having an extra stove on him. He's like, what, doesn't everyone have an extra stove on him? I'm like, no, you weirdo. No, we don't have extra stoves. And you were actually able to say that. And I kind of enjoyed it, or I made fun of Remy a little bit with what he was cooking up. Like, I don't know. I like that you can kind of just roast these Disney characters. Like, some of the writing in the game is legitimately hilarious. But also, I think it's like the behavior of the NPCs. Like, hear me out. I think Goofy is a serial killer in this game. Like, I'm dead serious. This man's behavior, keep an eye on this dude, right? When I got to Dazzle Beach and I just hear him in the distance doing something like this. And at first you look at a clip like that and you think, well, Maddie, what's suspicious about that? Okay, I get it. But keep in mind, again, I'm thinking this dude's a bit of a serial killer, right? And if you look at that, all of a sudden I find on a little beach, it looks like an arrowhead. And I pick it up. Who is sprinting at me afterwards and going, how you doing? It's Goofy again.
Come back here, you fucker.
I'm walking around Dazzle Beach. Who do I find nestled in the bushes? It's Goofy again. Who do I see sprinting all over Dreamlight Valley at absolutely nothing? It's Goofy. I'm telling you, look at this weirdo different. He's up to something in Dreamlight Valley.
Heck, she had a funny scream.
I showed friends, I was like, check this out, right? I was like, isn't he behaving kind of weird? And I noticed that for a lot of the other NPCs, like the way they behave, the things they say, they're kind of sus. I don't know. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye on Goofy especially. I don't think he's up to any good. Okay, now in all seriousness, I do want to talk about the game itself. So what are you doing in Dreamlight Valley? Basically, it's been taken over by this set of thorns. It's part of what's called the Forgetting. Basically, all these Disney characters used to inhabit Dreamlight Valley, and now they've forgotten that past. And so as you're going along and cleaning up Dreamlight Valley, you're going to be not only helping them remember, but you're going to find little scraps of lore. And there was one scrap of lore, funny enough, I found on the edge of the beach that was the most Sora-coded thing ever. Like, I'm just totally expecting one of these realms to open up and a Keyblade's gonna fly through and Sora's gonna step in. I hope for Kingdom Hearts 4 they do something with Sora because he feels like tailor-made for this game. But nonetheless, you're trying to learn like who originally was overseeing Dreamlight Valley, and also what were all these Disney characters doing beforehand. I'm not gonna sell you on the most captivating narrative here, but it kind of got its hooks in me of like, what is this forgetting? Like, how deep does this go? And it does get into sometimes, especially in the later game, like some serious territory. And I was very surprised to see and learn about that with Disney Dreamlight Valley. But I'm not trying to oversell the story, but I'm also not trying to undersell and be like, look, you're just here for the gameplay. Like, there is a charm to this game, and especially it lies in some of its characters beyond the nostalgia value. And I didn't expect that at the end of the day, except for Goofy. I you know, again, he's a serial killer, but nonetheless, so that's what you're doing here, is trying to learn more about the forgetting, trying to clean up Disney Dreamlight Valley from all these different thorns. And basically what you'll be doing is, as you're cleaning up, you have an energy meter on the top left corner of the screen, and this will go down as you clean things up, plant things, water things, dig things, mine things, and fish. And so you'll be doing these set of activities, at least in the base game. I haven't gotten to like the DLC and unlocking every single area in the game, but basically you'll be doing this and leveling your character up. You'll gain more energy. You'll gain new outfits that you can wear that are inspired by many of your favorite Disney IP. And it's kind of like an enjoyable loop because you're always setting new goals. Now, I'll say this, which is something I've said since 2015 with Fallout 4 settlement mode, but I am not big on like getting super creative with like player homes. It's just never been something that's clicked with me. I'm very practical. Like, can I plant a carrot here? Okay, cool. It's in the middle of Plaza now because I need a carrot in like 5 minutes. I'll come back to you later. Like, that's how I am. I don't consider myself a very unorganized person, but definitely when it comes to games and player homes and that sort of stuff, I'm awful with that. You just need to serve your purpose, and that is it. That is why when you go to my home in Dreamlight Valley, you will see it looks like someone is squatting there because, quite frankly, I do not focus on the upkeep there as of yet because I don't invest much time in like decorating it. So I don't need to spend the money on upgrading the size of it because I'm like, I'm never going to be here. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to recharge my energy. I'm going to go out. Anyway, you're going to want to manage your energy a little bit. It becomes a bit more redundant as you get deeper into the game, in my opinion, because eventually you just have so much food, so many resources that while you're out there, you're going to be mining and it's going to say like, hey, you're almost out of energy. Go back and rest, and I'll just eat like 14 apples from my inventory and just get back to what I was doing. And it kind of becomes, funny enough, I brought up Fallout earlier, I'm going to bring it up again, kind of like Fallout 76 when it launched, where the survival mechanics were made redundant pretty immediately, and you're like, why does this stuff even exist in the first place? And they ended up removing it. And I feel like it's the same thing here. Like, there is no real limit placed on your character in the first place because you can get around it in a heartbeat. So yeah, I don't really care for it too much, but it's not the end of the world. What I do think is the end of the world for particularly the younger audience is the directives and quests. Look, man, like, I had some trouble at times, not for long stretches of time, but just like going through Remy's realm and him telling me like, hey man, I need to make a ratatouille, and he doesn't give you like any of the ingredients for that. Or, hey, I need to make this 3-ingredient recipe, and all I'll tell you is that it's onion based, and the game gives you like no directive outside of that. There's no real quest markers or anything like that, which is fine for me. It's kind of why, as a young adult, I found it engaging. However, what we have to keep in mind is that the target audience is probably younger than us for the most part. I think this can be a game for kids or adults, but you know, Disney's probably sitting there hoping that mom and dad are going to crack open their wallet for the battle pass or something like that. But Disney Dreamlight Valley, I think, struggles a little bit with that onboarding experience. It overwhelms you with a lot of quests, a lot of content, and a lot of tasks to do, and not ever really fully communicating to you how to do it. Now, again, as a younger adult, I'm good. I figured it all out. But this is a game that if you're like watching this video, you're thinking like, do I play this with my kid? You might want to sit alongside them and kind of help them along, because I just think there was a couple of steps in at least the early quest before you get the training wheels off that they kind of fail to explain things to you. The game is also kind of buggy. I had a moment I was playing it and the camera got completely stuck away from my character, like it was a cutscene camera, but I was able to control it. There was a time where literally season 1, like the battle pass for season 1, popped up as a promotion as I first entered the Dreamlight Castle and then exited it, which should not have been there. And sometimes I'll get like stuck in loading screens. So yeah, it's definitely in need of some polish work for sure. Beyond all of that is, I think, something actually really worthwhile. Why is that? Because Number one, they continue to support it, which is what kind of got me interested. I'm like, they just released DLC a few days ago, and they're doing traditional DLC, which I like. It's not this sort of like, hey, here's season 1, here's season 2. Like, they'll do their little battle pass thing or whatever. You can play this game offline, though. You'll not have access to some features, but you can play the game offline, which totally respect that. I think a lot of people, myself included, thought this was a full live service game. It has live elements, but you can play it offline. You can buy it physically, which I only just learned as I was sitting down to record this, so I'm sorry. I know I should have had the complete box experience. I know, but I thought the timing of this video with Moana 2 was just too good to pass up. But yeah, like, this is a game that I think gets mischaracterized a lot. And what you'll find is a ton of quests. So as you're going through Dreamlight Valley, you can tell people to follow you, which, by the way, as a first timer, I will say, always have a follower. Every friendship level goes up to 10, and as you go through that friendship, they'll give you quests. What I found myself doing is, like, I told Mickey to follow me, and just everything you do gains friendship with them. Now, each of them have their own preference, and when you get to a certain point in your friendship, you can kind of select that preference. So for example, Mickey really likes to forage. So what we'll do when we're out there together is I'll pick some berries and I'll get like 3 points of friendship experience with him, versus if I was planting things or if I'm mining things or fishing things, I'll get 1. The difference is worth considering if you're trying to grind things out. But typically what you can do is just, as playing the game and the amount of content it has, you'll just naturally level everyone up. And I think it's best to get to level 10 and then kind of plow through a main quest line with one of these characters. And then like their quest is good, but you'll open the quest log and you'll have tons of friendship quests. You'll have tons of different things to do around Dreamlight Valley itself. Like, you'll find items that'll open up other side quest lines with these friendship characters that you have. And what's cool is as the game expanded in its support, you'll actually get new different realms that can be brought into Dreamlight Valley. So for example, the starter 3 are Wall-E, Moana, funny enough, and then also Ratatouille. So now you've got these 3, then there's Toy Story, there's Frozen. There are so many beyond even the traditional DLC that's there. And the way you access all of this is through Dreamlight. And you gain Dreamlight by completing tasks around the map. And there was never any real shortage of it ever. If I was planting something, if I was mining something, if I was completing a quest, leveling up a friendship, just anything you were doing, I was constantly getting updates of like, hey dude, go collect some Dreamlight for that. You could also mine resources that you can then convert into Dreamlight if you need any extra. Like, the game really doesn't tie you down at all, which again was the thing I mostly mischaracterized about it. I was going in expecting a binding live experience, you know, Disney, nostalgia, Animal Crossing, like cash it all in, right? That's what I was expecting. But what I got out was a very rewarding experience that made me laugh a lot as I was watching Goofy be an absolute psycho. At the same time as kind of enjoying a little bit of the charming writing. I don't like how my character's clothes really do hug like every facet of my body. I mean, every facet of my dude cannot breathe, if you catch my drift. So I'm just saying, like, the clothing and the way it holds around your character is something I don't like. But all of my dislikes with the game are nitpicks. The bugs, I think, can get a little annoying over time, but I just really do have a lot of fun with this game. I love planting things, watching them grow, and I'm just gonna go kill some time over here, and then working on my friendship with Mickey or the psychopath Goofy, or working with Remy. And all of these characters have like funny little one-liners that I think just this game has the it factor where they'll just drop these one-liners at like perfect moments in your playthrough that the game made me laugh a lot. Like, I was having a genuinely great time with it. And the best thing of all, which I think you could tell from the outside looking in, but I have struggled to find a cozy game. As many of you know here, I love my JRPGs. I love my RPGs. Like, I just love a serious game that's trying to tell a big story. And that's well and good and all. But I do think sometimes I need that game that sort of settles me down a little bit and just lets me get into a groove. The type of game that you can also kind of like sit on a Discord chat with your friends and kind of chip away at a little task here or there while you're just having a conversation, not really dialed fully into the game. I think this game is also perfect for that. Where it's perfect for that is like when you're grinding those friendships. There's so much to do in this game. You don't have to grind if you don't want to. Again, lots of content here. But let's say you're like, I want to get friendship level 10 with Mickey and Goofy. You can just spend some time doing that while talking to friends. Like, I'm just going to fish a lot. I'm going to take that fish, sell it, make some money off of it, buy backpack space. Like, there's always something to do, where if you're looking for a little bit of a cozier game or a turn off your brain and talk with your friends game, this game fits that mold. If you're looking just to dial in, which is kind of what I was doing, you'll get really into it. And then there's just so many biomes that you'll open up with your Dreamlight that there's just always something to do around every corner. And again, I really respect the traditional DLC route this game is taking. I mean, I know they could have gone a number of other ways with it, and there are frequent updates for it, but I really respect taking that expansion route. So who knows, maybe as time goes on, I don't expect this video to perform extremely well, but if this video ends up doing well, I'd love to circle back to this game again when like I complete my journey and get into the expansions and kind of see what's going on there. But I just thought this would be a cool time to talk about a live game that's been around for a while. You know, this is something Retro Rebound does a lot, where we talk about these either, you know, like legacy media. I call it like a Marvel Avengers, which is still active, but it's live service, or a game like this, which has been around for a while, and kind of investigating what's going on there. So I'm curious to get your thoughts. Do you like Dreamlight Valley? Are you like an Animal Crossing stan? Does it fit in a different pocket for you? What's your assessment of this game? I'm looking forward to getting your thoughts. Other than that, please take excellent care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next Retro Rebound. Peace out.